Welcome to Ice Cream Sunday. We are your hosts, Austin Buckner,
David Richardson,
Aaron Schoen,
and this is the inaugural episode of the podcast titled Your Cat Fucked Me Up. Full disclosure, before we recorded this podcast, David got mauled by a fucking tiger.
Yeah, looks pretty good, actually.
And that's troubling because you are very allergic to cats.
Not very allergic to cats.
A little allergic to cats.
Yeah, don't make it sound worse than it is.
I wanted to. I want people to listen to this podcast because they're like, oh, fuck, maybe he died.
In the middle of the episode.
Yeah. In the middle of the episode. So it was fun having David as part of the podcast. He will not be back in episodes after episode 3 because he died. He did. No, he's not dead. He did get attacked by a cat. We talk about it in the episode. Real quick, if you like what you hear, if you want to support the podcast, if you want to support Ice Cream Sunday, we would certainly love your support. You can do so by listening to every single episode of the podcast at soundcloud.com/AaronAustinDave. You can like us on Facebook.com/AaronAustinDave and follow us on Twitter at AaronAustinDave. We all have our own individual Twitters as well. Mine, Austin Buckner's, is Ice Cream Buckner. David's,
Ice Cream David R.
And Aaron.
I don't know mine. No, it's just at Aaron Schoen.
Aaron Schoen. Spell Schoen.
SCHOON.
All right. Once again, if like, review, rate, subscribe on iTunes, comment. Any and all feedback is definitely appreciated. So without further ado, please enjoy episode number 1, the debut episode of Ice Cream Sunday. Yes.
Man, your cat just fucked me up.
Sorry, Dave.
I was just trying to play with him.
Aren't you allergic to cats?
Yeah, my hand's like all red and shit, and there's blood, feces.
You know, it makes me wonder. Cat's claws. I mean, where do those motherfuckers go? Litter box.
Yeah, that's why I have an allergy to them. Is because of the fact that they scratch up their own fecal matter.
Have you ever heard of cat AIDS?
Cat AIDS?
AIDS, like
CAIDS.
CAIDS, is that how it's referenced?
No.
Seriously, I didn't know this was a thing. And then a friend of the family that has a farm has this cat that runs around there that's all hairless, that looks all twisted up, and I guess it has cat AIDS. Never heard of it before in my life.
Sounds hot.
Looked it up, and it's a real thing.
You know, cat scratch fever's a real thing?
Damn right.
Cat scratch fever.
Is that actually from cats?
Yeah, you get it from getting cat scratches.
Are you going to get cat scratch fever?
No. But Kirk's son just had cat scratch fever.
Are you going to turn into Ted Nugent?
Yes.
I fucking hope not.
That's what happens. You turn into Ted Nugent.
Nugent seems like the like someone who would vote for Trump.
Right, the perfect VP for Trump. Yeah.
Fucking Trump. You know, I give the man credit for the fact that he will say whatever the fuck he wants to say, and people will eat it up like candy. But he is just a flaming piece of donkey shit.
It's a legitimate fear of mine that Donald Trump will be president, and it seems like it might actually happen.
Right.
And then the country will go bankrupt like every other thing he's ever fucking touched.
I'm baffled because when he first said he was going to run, like he ran 4 years ago, and he said he was going to run for president, and it was just a huge joke at that time. And I thought that's exactly what it was going to be again. And then you see the primaries, and he's winning a lot of states,
yes,
and a lot of delegates. And it scares the fuck out of me.
And Bernie Sanders is not doing as well as I'd hoped he would.
No,
he's not. When it started, like in Iowa, like Hillary Clinton won, but it was close and there was controversy. And any time that Hillary Clinton won prior to Super Tuesday, it wasn't close, or it was close. It wasn't a blowout victory. And now she's just running away with it.
I weep for the country.
I was more excited for Bernie Sanders than I ever was for Barack Obama, and
that's because Bernie Sanders put you in a headlock.
That's true.
You saw the internet meme that happened because of that, right?
Yes.
The Rick and Morty?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I was like, I know the guy that's underneath that really badly done paint job.
Right.
Yeah, it's like no one knows it's me, but I feel like my hand is famous from this photo.
It's also famous from that gay porn you did.
Yeah, my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a crush on any of your teachers?
Oh, I had this one teacher. She was probably 25 at Valley. I went to Valley, and she was, I don't know, language arts or something. So hot. And she just had that look. She would go up to certain kids and be a little touchy with them. Maybe rub them on the shoulders for a minute just to make sure they're having a good day.
And then you're like, you can rub my shoulder.
Like, she looks like one of those teachers that could do that.
Yeah, I had an English teacher that when I was in high school that I used to fantasize about actively in her class. I'd just be sitting there not doing my work, looking at her like, I just wish she would come up and rape me.
That's dark.
Hey, if she was that good,
She was fucking smoking hot.
You went to school at
Lincoln.
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 Southside honeys.
Southside love.
Yeah, they definitely would have raped you.
No, if you asked me what her name was, I couldn't fucking tell you. But
I'm into that good West Des Moines love.
was that like pretentious preppy love?
Oh, there are good people in the burbs.
In the burbs.
In the burbs.
I've seen that movie. There's no good people in the burbs.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Have you seen the Burbs?
I don't think I have.
It's a Tom Hanks movie.
Oh,
Late 80s,
mid to late
90s.
80s.
I
Basically,
need to watch more movies.
these people move into the house next door to him, and they're like murderers, hiding people in the basement and shit. But it's a comedy.
Yeah,
It seems right up your
It's
alley.
got
though.
Corey Feldman in it.
Murders and the
But,
80s.
Well, definitely the 80s. I don't know about the murders.
Tom Hanks. Well, I mean, you're talking about ghost hunting.
yes.
So,
What's that have to do with murder, though?
I mean, doesn't
a lot of
yeah,
murdered
someone
souls
has to
out
be
there.
not. No, they don't have to be, but usually the good ghost stories are someone was murdered and now they're haunting, the residence that they used to live in.
Oh, maybe.
Seems like murders would be right up. your
Well,
alley.
I mean, you have places like over kind of on the way to work, the Jordan House. You ever heard of it?
Yeah.
I have.
It's really famous for being part of the Underground Railroad.
Oh, nice.
That's why it's on the historical register and stuff. It's supposedly that house is haunted by I can't remember the man's name, but obviously his last name is Jordan. His daughter supposedly haunts the house. She slid down the banister on the main flight of stairs one time, fell off the end of it, and broke her neck. So I mean, that's not murder.
True. But usually there's like a premature death of some sort, whether it's a murder or an accident or fucking Johnny falls in the well and Lassie can't
get
there fast enough.
to the father fast enough. Timmy dies. No, ghost hunting. Yeah, I used to be. I've actually been a founder of a couple different ghost hunter groups. One was called was called GAS, which was Ghost and Apparition
Society.
No, it was something else. I can't remember what the S stood for. And then that turned into a real group that I was booted out of called SIPA, which stood for Central Iowa Paranormal Investigators. And then after that group kicked me out because I didn't have time for them,
Fucking Sipa.
I started a second group called Team ESP, which was Team Exploring Supernatural Paranormal. Can't remember anymore. Phenomenon. There we go. But yeah.
So what's the craziest shit you'd seen?
You want to know like if it was crazy in the moment or if it was like crazy all around? Because I've had lots of experiences with supernatural entities.
Well, have you seen any ghosts?
Maybe. I've seen the only ghostly thing that I've two things really. When I lived at this house on the south side of Des Moines, there was this old creek bed that ran next to it that was dried up, so there was no water in it. And every time we would go into what eventually became my daughter's room, not every time, but a lot of times you would go in there and there would be what looked like a dark shape outside looking in the window. Wow. And then as soon as you try to focus on it, it would drop down, like literally drop down, didn't disappear, it dropped down. And a couple of times I sprinted out the front door to go see if anybody was out there, and there was never anything there. And then the other thing was at a graveyard outside Indianola, I saw a mist come out of the ground, go about 5 feet over, and then go back into the ground.
A mist.
Yeah, it was just
like
it could have just literally been mist, but
Okay.
mist doesn't usually go back into the ground as far as I know.
Yeah.
So the craziest thing I ever saw was fantastic because it ended up being nothing. I was taking random pictures in a graveyard, and when I got the film developed, because that was back when you developed film.
Yeah.
There was a picture of what looked like two glowing eyes staring at me from a tree, and the shape behind it looked like it had horns.
Wow.
So, it blew my mind that I had caught this thing on film.
Right.
I had no idea what it was, and eventually lost the photo because the guy that ran the group at the time, my co-founder, kept it, and it just disappeared because, sometimes I guess that happens. But then about 10 years later, not 10 years, let's say 5 years. 5 years later, I was watching a documentary on owls. And they took a picture of a barn owl at night in a tree, and it looked exactly like the photo I had taken.
There is a movie where those affected with like this mental disorder see white owls.
Okay.
I can't think of what it's called, but it's set in Alaska, and it's like the main character is a psychiatrist.
So is it like a documentary, or is it just a movie?
It's set up to be like a documentary, but it's just really a movie. It came out at the same time.
So it's a found footage movie. Found footage.
Sort of, yeah. It came out at the same time
Blair
as
Witch
the
Project.
original Paranormal Activity.
Okay. Never seen that.
So we went to go see Paranormal Activity, and we saw this trailer for this really creepy movie where those affected with this mental disorder see white owls. We get done watching Paranormal Activity, which the first one was really well done, I thought, because I was in film school at the time. We're driving home.
Is there anything you didn't go to school for?
And a fucking white owl flies out the window. I've never been so goddamn scared in my life.
It was like a Mothman Prophecies.
Yeah, it's my favorite jump scare that's actually happened to me in real life.
Like that.
So yeah, when we were doing the ghost hunting, it was a lot of fun. I found a couple different, mostly did graveyards because unfortunately a lot of places that you want to go that are buildings, especially if they're owned by like the city, which a lot of the ones around here are.
Yeah.
You either have to pay out the ass to get into them or have some sort of advertising type situation, like SIPA was on PBS a lot. So
Okay.
they had a following.
So have you ever seen anything like go into a room and a chair moves or a door closes on its own?
Lots of times.
Yeah.
I'll just give you a few examples real quick. When I lived in my apartment over by Easter Lake, when the girls had a toddler bed that they slept in, but whenever they weren't there was a big gap behind my bedroom door that I could set the bed frame upright in, and it would just sit there. And I had hung my belt over it, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the buckle just started jingling. In that same apartment, my bedroom door opened and shut itself in the middle of the night. I watched it happen. And it was literally like the door handle went.
Were these older apartments?
They've been there for a while. I don't know how old they are.
Makes you wonder.
Well, it doesn't really. That's inconsequential with the area by Easter Lake that all used to be farmland.
Yeah.
So, there's been people that have lived out there for 100 years. So then the door opened about an inch, just far enough that somebody could look in to see if somebody was in there, and then it went.
I love how the stereotype in horror stories and ghost movies is that it's always somewhere old. It's always like an old Victorian or something like that. I've always made the joke that there's no haunted ranch style houses, and there's also no new ghosts. Like there's no ghosts after like the turn of the 20th century.
Right. They just stop haunting.
A couple other things happen.
There's no jazz ghosts.
I have a joke about that in just a second. The kitchen cupboards would open and shut themselves a lot. I came home one day and my brother was in the shower, and he came out of the shower and he goes, "How long have you been here?" And I was like, "Maybe 5 minutes." And he was like, "That's weird." And I was like, "Why?" And he goes, "Oh, well, I've been in the shower," and he took a long shower, so he's been in there for about an hour. And he's like, "And I heard somebody come in the front door, walk down the hall, try to get in the bathroom, and then leave."
Fuck that.
And I said, well, that's really weird because the deadbolt was locked when I got here.
Nope.
So that apartment was a hot spot. I had a lot of shit happen at that apartment.
That's amazing.
Other things, I've seen toys move on their own. Non-blinking lights blink.
In that same apartment?
No, this was at a house.
Oh, I was gonna say that's when you break your lease, Dave. You just gotta get the fuck out of there.
But I'm not scared of ghosts. It never scared me.
I
I was more intrigued.
I guess if you're used to them, shit, you're living with them, amongst them. And,
Yeah, they don't pay rent.
yeah.
But anyway, back to Jazz Ghost. So I had this amazing idea for a movie based upon a friend's... came up because one of my friends passed away. And so now when you bury somebody, they're put in a concrete vault, more or less. The coffin's lowered into the vault's
Right.
lowered into the hole. And I said, well, how long do you think they've been doing that? Like maybe since the 80s? So there wasn't a whole lot of that going on in the 70s, right? So if we ever have a zombie apocalypse...
fucking disco.
They're all going to come out in leisure suits.
Yes!
And it's going to be leisure suit zombies. And I was like, this is an amazing idea for a fucking movie.
That is awesome.
My grandfather was married in a leisure suit.
In a leisure suit?
Like a powder blue leisure suit.
Why are leisure
That's
suits always
fantastic.
powder blue?
I don't know.
I think that was like
Pastels.
your common
The hot
thing
color.
back then. And
Yeah.
man, that's an idea you could sell to, Call of Duty franchise to try to,
Oh, leisure suit zombies?
yeah. They come up out of the,
I'm like, I got this idea.
have a map just all based upon disco and, the fucking, you have zombies on roller skates and just crazy shit.
Zombies
Sounds
on
awesome.
roller skates.
Yeah, that would be,
It
I
sounds
think
like
Plants
an,
vs. Zombies does that a lot, though. They have
Yeah.
a lot of 70s inspired zombies in their game.
That's awesome. That sounds very much like Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Like
I haven't seen that
like
yet.
a scary movie that's really just
Not
humorous. Yeah. What's the other scary movie that's more humorous than
Shaun of the
scary?
Dead.
yeah.
Shaun of the Dead. The Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods is amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
I just thought it was horrible.
You did?
What?
I love that movie.
Up until the ending, I don't know. It was
Why?
just too much. It was just way too much at the end. It started out as really subtle, and I enjoyed the first, 2/3 of it, and then it just,
What?
it got great, yeah.
I liked it.
Have you ever seen Rubber? It's about a sentient tire with psychic abilities.
No, I have not.
It's so fucking horrible, but it's so fucking amazing. Like there's a point in the movie where the tire's rolling down the road and he comes across a tire fire and he just sits there and stares at it for a while.
What the fuck?
And then the next time you see him, this woman goes into her hotel room and she hears the showers on and she goes in the shower and there's a tire rocking back and forth
What
underneath
the
the shower.
I gotta see this now.
So this is a
I
really
gotta see that.
a stretch of a segue, but you mentioned Rubber, which made me think it's Hires. Did you like the movie Drive?
I haven't seen it.
Have you seen it?
Never seen it.
It's beautiful, but it's beautiful in the same way that Kung Fury is beautiful, and I thought Kung
Which I
Fury
also
was a
haven't
better
seen.
movie.
Seen
You seen
Kung Fu
Fury?
Hustle.
All right, I got to write these links down, but we'll put Kung Fury up because if the full movie's on YouTube. It's only like 30 minutes long.
Really?
Yeah, it's just just a short film.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's just 30 minutes long. But Zach and Fleming love it.
I know they keep telling me I need to watch it, and every time they tell me I need to watch it, I want to watch it just a little bit less.
It's well, it has comedy that seems like it would be right up your alley. So it's just
Is that a butt stuff joke?
no, it's just silly. Like the villain is Hitler, Kung Fuhrer.
I love it.
It's awesome. It's a great movie. Great short film, but just made me think of that. But no, Drive, it's shot really well, and the special effects are really cool, and it's like a beautiful 80s movie. It's really weird, but Ryan Gosling plays a getaway driver, and he gets mixed up with the wrong people. And it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous movie. I didn't like it as much as it seemed like everyone did.
What is the Nicolas Cage movie where he dies and comes back in his car and has to save his daughter?
The only Nicolas Cage movie with cars I can think of is Gone in 60 Seconds.
No, it's not that.
He doesn't
'Cause
die in
he's,
that movie.
He's dead at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
And it's actually not it's bad, but it's not hard to watch. Let's put it that way. It's not Ghost Rider Spirit of
Yeah,
Vengeance.
it's not. No, not Ghost
That's
Rider.
what I was gonna say. Was it Ghost Rider?
No, because Ghost Rider doesn't come back to avenge his daughter. Read a fucking comic.
I haven't seen it. I'm not a Ghost Rider fan. Nothing about that comic appealed to me at all.
Well, I used to read Ghost Rider all the time. But speaking about comic books,
Yes.
who's all seen Deadpool here?
I still haven't seen it.
Still have yet to see it.
You guys
Heard
fucking
great things.
suck.
Hopefully by the next time we do this, we can have a
How do
review
I
for
talk
you.
about such a perfect
Fucking
perfect
Dave just quit the
movie.
podcast.
movie and not spoil it for you guys? I can't even do it because it's so fucking good.
I have to watch it. I just haven't seen it yet.
And just to anybody listening out here, if you have kids and you took them to see Deadpool, you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit parent, and Austin's probably going to edit that out.
Nope.
But
Absolutely not.
Hell no.
there was all these fucking things on Facebook and on random online posts about like, I can't believe that movie was that dirty and that gory and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And then one person was like, there should be a rating system to tell you how bad a movie is. And somebody commented on my, there's like, you mean like rated R?
Yeah. I don't know why you'd take anyone to a rated R movie, especially Deadpool.
Well, how about any kids? You said anyone.
Yeah.
Any
I wouldn't
kids.
take anyone
Sorry.
to see a rated R movie.
Any
You
kids.
fucking prude.
Sorry. Fucking no. It's not that. It's just we're getting, as we get closer and closer, the only fucking human beings I can think of are kids.
Yeah.
So
well, you're going to have a baby. That's
Any-
a little bit different. You could take a baby to see Deadpool.
yeah.
They're not going to understand. Then it'd be great though if like in the middle of the movie they're just like, fuck.
I don't want that to be my son's first word, but I also kind of do want that to be my son's first word. Because it's always like, what was your kid's first word? Oh, it was like mama or dada.
Usually it's
I
dad.
want it
D's
to
are
be,
easier than M's.
Mine was Bob Barker.
Was it really?
Nice.
Straight for
That was your first word?
Yes, that's what my mom always tells me because she would clean the house every day. So she'd get up and she'd put me in my walker, which was usually in front of the TV, or just set me there and Price is Right would be on and it would be Bob Barker.
you guys-
Before I ever said mom or dad or
Did you guys ever skip school just so you could watch Price is Right?
No.
not to watch Price is Right, but I skipped school for other reasons. But yeah, it's
Yeah, I skipped a lot of school.
I was a big fan of the Price is Right, still am, except Drew Carey's kind of fucking creepy.
Many mornings were spent with
Fat
Bob.
Drew Carey was better than skinny Drew Carey.
Yes,
it's like, it's
Cleveland
like Jonah
rocks.
Hill.
Yes, what the hell happened?
He lost a shitload of weight, and evidently his obesity was his humor.
It's back though.
Yeah, it's back.
Yeah, his weight's back.
He is now a hefty gentleman.
His humor isn't back yet, but it's
Oh,
back.
built
I don't
his
like him
reputation back up.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill built a reputation as a very, very good actor. Not a comedic actor, but a very, very good actor. Like his role in Hardball was really good.
have you guys seen Funny People?
I haven't yet. Yes, I have. That with Jonah Hill and
It's an
Sandler.
Adam Sandler
Adam
movie,
Sandler.
and Seth Rogen are the two
Yeah.
main actors in it.
Right.
And it's a comedy, but it's not.
It's like a
It's not
serious-
slapsticky fucking. It's not your usual comedy you would get out of Adam Sandler or Seth Rogen.
Right.
It's very dry, and
have
mostly
seen
the
it.
movie's pretty serious,
Yeah.
and it's loaded with
Seth
comedians.
Rogen's trying to be a.
He's a stand up comedian. He ends up writing for Adam Sandler.
That's right. With Jonah Hill's jokes, is that right?
He uses like
Like he uses some premises and
yeah. Jonah Hill gets all butthurt in the movie because Adam Sandler's like, "Do you got any friends that want to do this? Because I could use more jokes." And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll mention to him." And then he never does.
is Aziz Ansari in that movie as Randy?
Yes.
Okay, I have seen that movie.
Yeah, I guess. And Randy became like a thing.
Yeah, he Aziz has a stand-up comedy special where he does 8 minutes as Randy at the end of the show.
Oh, does
It's
he?
Fucking hilarious. I love Aziz. Have you seen? Do you watch like television shows on Netflix or just like movies?
Depends.
He has a really good sitcom that's not set up like a sitcom. It's more like a Louis. Have you seen Louis? Louis C.K. show? It's set up like that, where it's more of like a. It just follows him around. It's not like a laugh track. It's not, but he has a show called Master of None on Netflix. It's really, really good. And every episode is about his relationships with somebody, whether that be like a new girlfriend or his parents are in one. It's really good. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's got confirmed for a second season. So
Cool. I did watch the first episode of Wilfred the other day.
that's a great show. The
It is a
American
great show.
Yeah, the American one.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was like, I've always seen it on there, and I was like,
After a while for me, I was like,
it does. It
but
loses its
still-
charm.
It does, but it's still
The first episode's awesome.
it's still good. Yeah, it's first season and a half, I think. We're good. After that, I just
There's a lot of shows that I've
Agree
been
or
told
disagree?
to watch the first episode or first season and then don't watch the rest of it. Like, someone told me that the first season of Heroes is great, and I've watched the first season, and then they told me just give up on that show after the first season.
Disagree.
Did you like all of it?
Yes.
I enjoyed what I watched of it.
What about the Heroes? Was it Unborn or whatever?
The Heroes Reborn? I haven't watched it. I don't have TV.
Do they bring back the same people for this?
I don't know. I know that the horn-rimmed glasses guy is in it, and I think the guy that played the Haitians in it, and not very many other people.
No hot blonde chick, Hayden Panettiere.
No, she became a country singer and left TV behind, and did her the Touch and Feel Cotton commercial.
I love how her last name is pronounced Panettiere, and the way that you pronounce it sounded like Panty Air.
Is that her last name? Because I would just been like that. The cheerleader.
You know,
save the cheerleader, save
French.
the world.
You know who her boyfriend or husband, Vladimir Klitschko.
Oh, the fucking heavyweight boxer.
Yeah, 6'9".
That's her husband.
Yeah.
She's like 4 foot nothing.
Yes, she just had his baby and about died.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's been like a year, but yeah, that's her.
I
That's her guy.
love Vladimir Klitschko, but the Klitschko brothers are the reason that heavyweight boxing fucking sucks now, because they have pretty much dominated the entire heavyweight division.
Yeah,
there's two Russian brothers, the Klitschko brothers, that have almost every heavyweight belt on the planet, and they don't fight each other. And they fucking murder everyone else, much like Fedor Emelianenko murdered everyone in the heavyweight division. There's just some fucking badass Russians in combat sports.
Dude, Russians are just badass in general.
Fucking dogs.
God, they're barking at Dave.
Are they barking at Dave?
I think so.
Dave, why do animals fucking hate you?
It's his dark soul. They can't take it serious at all holding that cup.
Sons of Anarchy, my gun cup. Yeah, I was.
It sounds like you're about to. It looks like you're about to bust a cap.
And literally, just the way he held it,
he's like, yeah, that used to be my shit.
I got my finger on the motherfucking trigger.
There's a picture that you have of you holding the mic with one hand and your hand out like this with the other one. Mm-hmm. And I almost put a comment on it about you looking like you're about to cradle somebody's balls.
I get that a lot. And
I think your uncle beat me to it or something. It was something like that. And I was like, son of a bitch!
Yeah, you and Shane have a very similar sense of humor. There's a lot of shit that he comments, and then you comment like, oh, you beat me to it, or I was thinking the same thing. Everyone wants to Photoshop any picture of me when I was rapping. I had a friend, Jeff, who would Photoshop the microphone out and a penis in every single picture.
That's
of
amazing.
Me holding a microphone. That's what friends are for. But
takes some time and effort.
And skill at Photoshop.
Yeah. No, hip hop was a thing that just kind of happened out of nowhere. I was in an English class and we had to write poetry, and I wrote really personal, emotional poetry and poetry about politics I knew nothing about at 13 years old. And my brother was like, you could make this into a rap. Like, I think it would flow really well. He played piano, and some of my first songs were just him fucking around on a MIDI player, or a MIDI applicator, like a keyboard. And
is that like one of those ones that has different squares that you push?
Yeah, there's one like that's more of like percussion. He had one that was actually like a small keyboard, had like 2 octaves on it, and he would make hip hop beats. And we had a little program that we would run on the computer. Some of my earliest instrumentals were, there was a video game for PlayStation 2. I can't remember what it was called. I'll have to look it up, but you could make instrumentals on there, but it was on PlayStation, so there was no way to transfer them over. We had a little microphone that we would use for like MSN Messenger and that sort of thing, like a long stick mic that for your computers that, you know, used to be popular in the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah. We would put that stick microphone up to the speaker of my TV, and we would record. It was super low quality, but that's where a lot of my first instrumentals came from, was just recording from that video game. Everyone else in the house, like, we told them to shut the fuck up. Like, no one else can talk. I'm trying to make music here. I'm trying to be a genius. I went Kanye on my grandparents at like age 13.
I'm more inspirational than 50%.
And we would make music that way, and my friends got involved, and they were starting bands. So some of the music that they made that they were just jamming around, that they weren't going to use for their band, like they sent it to me, and that's kind of where my style came from, more rock than hip hop. And then I did some shows and got more popular as I almost graduated college, or before I graduated college, I became more popular, did a few shows in Omaha and Kansas City with Tech Nine, and it's about the end of it. I haven't performed since 2013, haven't written any new music since 2011, so
I have some songs that I wrote that I'd like to see you turn into a rap.
yeah. Sort of a
Don't say it like that.
no, it's not
yeah,
that. It's just,
well, Dave,
it's
know,
not.
you're
It's
a
not
piece
your.
of shit.
No. It's not your lyrics. It's just
is.
it's not a dead passion. It's just I don't think I'd be good at it anymore. I made a lot of music. My best music was between like age 17 and 22, and I was just really angry those 5 years, and I'm not angry anymore. So I
could punch you in the balls.
Just
It's not that. It's just like a lot of failed relationships, and like failed relationships with girls, my grandparents, my biological father. It's just a really angry time, and I was really angry at George Bush. So like,
I noticed that.
a lot of my music came at a time when I was just angry about everything, and
So
that
you
was,
go from-
that was fuel.
You can go from being DMX to Will Smith.
I don't want to be Will Smith though. I want my music to be remembered for what it was, and not what I can try to make it now. I don't even know what I'd rap about now. It just seems like I don't really have.
diapers,
Collecting debt.
Yeah, I don't really have fucking collecting debt.
making calls. You know, you mentioned Kanye's name. About 3 years ago, I had issued an open challenge on public forum, through Twitter, through Facebook, that I wanted to challenge him to a fight.
Like a fist fight?
Like a fist fight. Like, I don't care. Like, I dislike the guy so much. I want to fight Kanye West. So if this ever gets out, the challenge is still open. So even if he were to kick my ass, I just want to fight him.
Well, then you'd at least be able to be like, you know what I did once?
There are just some things that I don't like about him, and just, I think we should settle our grievances like men and
Trial by combat.
just beat the shit out of each other.
Mortal Kombat.
No, but for real, Kanye, if you're listening, I'm coming for you.
If Kanye's listening to this podcast,
And he's going, I'm more inspirational than all those podcasters out there.
Yeah.
God, he's such a piece of shit. Did you see that? Did you hear the clip of him from the behind the scenes of SNL where he says that?
yeah, I've heard it.
So did you
I
know-
mean, he's cocky, but I completely understand his anger and where he was coming from. They completely fucked up his stage design without telling him. Like, I've been in situations like that. When I
Yeah,
was
but did you
performing
go and tell everybody that you were more influential than one of the disciples of Christ?
I mean, some of the shit he says is
I
kind of
am.
crazy, but I mean, who doesn't do
Really?
crazy
How big's
shit?
your following and how big's his? I think Jesus has a way bigger following than you do, buddy.
It's debatable.
It isn't. But did you know that Ryan Reynolds released a parody of it?
Yeah, I heard that.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I heard
it's
that.
hard to understand because he recorded it in the same shitty quality that the one on SNL was, but it's amazing. And there is an open petition right now to have Deadpool host SNL.
Yeah.
Not Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Deadpool.
Nice.
Deadpool.
Nice.
That'd be great.
I would watch.
I would definitely tune
Who would
in.
be the musical guest for an episode with Deadpool as the host?
No doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Did you ever see the test footage for the Deadpool movie?
Yes, when he's
And
sitting
he's sitting on the bridge and he's
Yep.
singing "Holler Back Girl."
Ah,
He's like, "The shit is bananas." B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
yes. That would be great.
Have you seen Star Wars?
Yeah, I've seen Star Wars.
Have you seen Star Wars?
I have not.
I'm
Fuck
disappointed in you.
off.
We can't be friends.
I have not.
It was so good.
Yeah, it's great.
I've been meaning to go.
I mean, it's
on my list.
very much
is.
very much borrows a lot of its storyline from A New Hope. So just be prepared for that. That being said, it is fucking amazing.
I want to see
Stop
it before it leaves
that.
the theaters.
You sit way too far away, and then I gotta turn it up, and then you get really excited about something like Star Wars, and then I gotta turn your mic back down.
I fucking hate you.
I know you do.
Dave, if you could sleep with one character from Star Wars Who would that character be?
Carrie Fisher. Now.
Carrie Fisher now.
Really?
Dude, why not?
So just to say you did.
You know, Harrison Ford's a close second, but Carrie Fisher. I'd fuck Carrie Fisher along her timeline from Legal to now. Any of them.
Man, I think Ray's sexy as hell.
She is.
She's gorgeous.
I find it interesting that they casted her, and she looks a lot like, or has similar facial features to Natalie Portman.
Yeah. I thought that too.
And I was like, that was genius casting, because that's going to automatically put the subconscious thought in your head that she is the descendant of that character.
Yeah.
That being said, the prequels are utter complete trash.
Yeah.
But I can deal with it.
Here's the thing. So I never saw the original trilogy when I saw the prequels. And that's so those are the 3 movies that I grew up with.
Right.
Because I was right around the age when, like, my uncle, who's 20 years older than me, I was about the age when I saw the prequels that he did when he saw the original trilogy. So those, to me, are, like, my generation's trilogy. So I didn't think the movies were that bad until I saw the original trilogy. And then I was like, okay, I can see where people think Jar Jar Binks is a fucking loser.
Speaking of Jar Jar Binks, so Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier did an episode of Smodcast called Misa Kills. And they're talking about doing a spin-off movie with Jar Jar Binks. And, like, they go into, it's going to be like a darker Jar Jar Binks. And they start off with his origin story where stormtroopers show up at his house and they strangle Jar Jar's father with Jar Jar's tongue.
Fuck, man.
And it turns Jar Jar into, like, this vengeful fucking machine of death.
As he should be.
And the other thing is, and then afterwards, because he can't deal with the fact that his father was strangled with his tongue, he cuts his tongue out and doesn't talk again.
Thank you, Jesus.
And they said in the first post-release, it says, Misa back. And then the second post-release, it says, Misa kills.
What the hell?
It
Do
was
you have any
fucking
Star
amazing.
Wars tattoos?
I do not. No, I'm not that big of a fanboy.
No.
Yeah, I'm not a big enough fanboy of anything to have a tattoo of it on my body. I have my daughter's name and a dragon that I wish I didn't have.
No.
I thought about getting the Empire symbol somewhere.
Nazi.
But then I'm not as big of a Star Wars fan as, like, other people.
Yeah,
so
that would take some
I feel like someone would see it and they'd be like, oh, Star Wars. And then start talking to me about Star Wars. And I'd be like, fuck, I'm a poser.
Back the Ewoks were cool. And then people would punch you in the balls because nobody likes the Ewoks. Except for Jamie.
Again, I don't mind the Ewoks.
What's
What's wrong with the Ewoks?
My friend Jamie wants this purse that is basically an Ewok head.
That's adorable.
It is cute. It's also $50.
I want a stormtrooper suit. That would be great.
Did you go to Comic-Con this last year?
Yeah.
Did you see all the Mandalorians?
Yes, and then
They would go fucking through Comic-Con, find people that you told them to find, bring them back and lock them up in a fucking cage.
Yeah.
Was that at Wizard World Comic Con or Des Moines Comic Con?
That was the one that was...
there was Wizarding World Comic Con.
Because they were at the Comic Con that I wrestled at, the Midwest Comic Con.
What the fuck does wrestling have to do with Comic-Con?
I think you'd be fucking surprised.
Really?
Every single professional wrestler I've ever met, honestly, batting a fucking 1,000 here. Every single one of them loves comic books.
Yeah,
Really?
It used to be
it's
like
a natural connection.
like in 60s to 70s. It was backstage, drinking beer, getting high in the locker room, and now it's guys on their PlayStation Vita or their old Game Boys reading comic books, talking about video games, talking about movies, talking about nerd culture. Like, every wrestler I've ever met is a huge fucking nerd. Like, even guys that are Mark Sterling, Jeremy Wyatt, the guys that are big names in this area, Mark Sterling probably has 4% body fat. He's just a fit nerd. He loves comic books, video games, Breaking Bad, and Slipknot. He's the coolest guy ever.
I like all one of those things.
Is it Slipknot?
No, it's comic books.
Oh,
You don't like
shit.
comic books?
I actually don't mind Slipknot. I like some other stuff. I hate some other stuff.
Have you ever seen them in concert?
No.
They are coming to concert.
I feel like that would change my mind if I saw him live.
You want to know who my first
Magnificent.
concert was?
What's that?
Britney
Tool.
Spears. Oh.
Fuck you.
Oh, it's fucking
I
amazing.
wish.
Now, the band that opened for them was complete and utter shit.
Who's that?
It was a band called Tomahawk.
Tomahawk.
And the dude sang through a gas mask for the first 3/4 of his concert. So this is what it sounded like. Ow.
That's exactly what I expected it to sound like.
And then I was like, well, I don't smoke, because I didn't smoke at this time, but I'm going to go outside and have a cigarette. That cigarette took me 45 minutes to smoke. And then I went back in, and Tool was on stage, and they were fucking amazing.
My first concert was Fall Out Boy, right after From Under the Cork Tree came out. So they were fucking hot fire at that time. Probably the most popular band in the world.
So sexy.
Don't forget Hawthorne Heights and All American Rejects were on that show too. It was good. If you're into pop punk,
I like some, but not all. Like, dude, what is it? You've seen Big Hero 6?
No.
They do this song on there called Immortal. It's fucking amazing. It gets you pumped.
Really?
Good old Fall Out Boy.
I like Fall Out Boy.
What was your first concert?
My first concert, I was Metallica, and
Nice.
I watched Korn and Corrosion of Conformity open for them.
That was your first concert?
Yes. This is January.
Holy shit.
January of 97.
I feel like you saw a lot of better good bands than I did at my first one.
I don't know. Tool's pretty.
It was a great show.
Gotta love those better good
but
bands.
not the best concert I've been to.
What was the best concert you've been to?
Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, really?
The fuck out of it. Are you serious?
I am dead serious. It was the best show I've seen on stage.
I don't like Insane Clown Posse, but
Right.
I really want to experience the Gathering of the Juggalos
That
once.
would be very interesting.
Now, I'm not a huge Insane Clown Posse fan. I'm a great Malenko fan. That's because that CD came out when I was in high school.
Right.
And
They have a CD called The Great Malenko?
Yes.
Okay,
That's
so,
a wrestling reference, right?
It's great. Yeah.
no, it's probably the wrestling reference is probably a reference to the CD since it came out in like 93.
No. There's a wrestler that was
yes.
Boris
they took it
Malenko,
off, yeah,
the
they're
Great
taking
Malenko.
off wrestling because they're huge wrestling fans.
They are
Yeah,
huge wrestling
they own Insane Championship or
Yeah.
Insane Championship Wrestling?
Was it
or
like
Juggalo Championship
Yes.
Wrestling.
JCW?
Championship Wrestling.
I can't remember.
You're such a douche to other wrestlers.
No, that's what it's called. Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Oh, nice.
And they're actually on like the FBI's list of top gangs because
Well,
of
not anymore.
Not anymore.
They got dropped.
They got dropped.
There was this
Fucking
big
Juggalos.
lawsuit going against them saying that Juggalos were a gang.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Crazy bastards from Michigan drinking Fago.
Fago. Pineapple
Is it
Fago
really?
is really good.
Every Juggalo I've ever met, super nice. But
Well, like, I'm not a Juggalo by any means because I don't really like Insane Clown Posse. I love The Great Malenko. Like I said, it came out when I was in high school. I listened to it a lot. Other than that, they're okay. But most of the Juggalos, I know. I know quite a few. Really nice. Their whole thing is family.
yeah,
And that's what they want to be seen as is a family.
they're super supportive of each other. From what I've seen online, my friend Dakota was going through some really tough shit. Ended up going to prison for a while, and the Juggalo community was really like rallied around him. And I've never really seen that from any other band's fans. Like I think they get a bad rap just because of the people that don't like Insane Clown Posse, but
yeah.
their music. Their music's one thing. The way that they interact and the way that they truly love their fans is another thing. And
That's just like, they sing about unconventional things and people get upset about it. It's just like people used to get mad at Eminem all the time.
Right.
I still get mad at Eminem. And the only reason is because that's the worst concert I've ever seen live.
Really?
He was shit. And the only reason I say that is because it was the same music festival as some of the bands that I revere as the best in the world live. Flaming Lips.
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys are also great.
Is this Lollapalooza you're referring to?
This was Can Roxas. It only happened once in 2011.
Oh, okay.
The headliners were Muse, which are fucking awesome.
I like
and
one
Eminem.
new song.
We saw Muse from a distance, like in the stands. It was at Kansas Speedway. We saw Muse from a distance because we stayed at the stage across the field, and wanted to be in the front row for them. The first night, the same night as Eminem, the headliner on the stage across, an hour before Eminem started, was the Black Keys.
Yeah.
And they were fucking awesome. And the second night was Flaming Lips, and they put on a stupid good show with an inflatable, like, hamster ball. And, like, he crowd surfs in the hamster ball. It's just, like,
Makes more sense than doing it without it.
late lights and confetti and
it'd be fun
big
with a
ass
hamster ball.
beach balls and balloons and
Dildos everywhere.
probably it was amazing. We saw them. Kid Cudi was on the main stage at that, and he was amazing. it just seemed like Eminem was phoning it in. It was right around the time of the Rehab album.
Yeah.
Which is probably one of his worst.
Right.
So,
Do you feel like Eminem's lightened it up a lot lately?
Yes, he needs to go. He needs to go back on the drugs.
It's like what movie is he in?
8 Mile.
no, that movie's phenomenal.
It is.
It is a good movie.
Fantastic.
No, there's a movie. It might even be Funny People that he's in. I don't know, but he's sitting at a restaurant with the main actor, and Ray Romano keeps looking over at him. And it's Ray Romano playing Ray Romano.
That's awesome.
And Eminem sees him, and he's like, "What the fuck's he keep looking at him?" He's like, "Yo, Ray, you want to suck my dick? Is that why you keep looking over here?" And Ray Romano's like, "No."
For as good as 8 Mile is, 50 Cent's movie that's basically the same thing, Get Rich or Die Trying, it's fucking awful.
I thought, I don't know, I could feel for 50 in that. I really could.
Yeah. I could feel for anyone that got shot 9 times and
I've never been
brushed
huge
it
into
off
50
like it was
Cent.
nothing. I never have either. I thought Get Rich or Die Trying was a fine album, but he didn't do anything after that.
I love Weird Al's 20-second cover of Candy Shop, though.
What's that?
It's Weird Al on a lot of his albums does what he calls it'll be like blank polka, so it'll be like alternative polka.
I remember the one he did on the only album I have by him, Running with Scissors.
Yep. But he does like a little 10-minute part of it is Candy Shop. It's fucking hilarious. I love Weird Al.
He's
Weird Al's
phenomenal.
great.
It's been around forever.
But I like Weird Al's
great.
original stuff. I'm not really big into like his parody stuff, but the stuff that he makes up, that he writes is phenomenal. I love it. It's not good music by any means. Like it's not anything that you're gonna like fuck to. But
I listen to Albuquerque probably once a week.
I have it on my phone
so
now.
good. It's so good.
I try to get the kids to learn the words to it.
I may have fucked to Eat It once.
You fucked to the song Eat It?
I may have.
That's amazing.
No, but imagine. I mean, you could. There's a lot of possibilities you could do with that.
What is the best song to fuck to?
Actually, I hate fucking the music. I just think it's weird. I mean, I don't want to be thrusting with the the rhythm of the music, and it's just like it creates a weird awkwardness in the room. So
Yeah.
I just try to avoid music altogether. I mean, unless that's what really gets the mood going. But
That Bobby Caldwell song I was singing earlier, I fucked to that, and that was pretty good. I can't think of what it's called. Let me look it up on Spotify. But
I don't have an answer for the question. I just thought it was a
Bobby
good question.
Caldwell music, something like slow and sensual, get him in the
Marvin Gaye.
mood. Marvin Gaye's good.
Luther
Pretty much any
Vandross.
like old R&B. There are times.
I'd rather just have something awkward on the fucking TV, like the Brady Bunch or something. Than just
The episode where Marshall gets hit in the face with a football, and that's right when you come.
I shouldn't say it was an ex-girlfriend before Kaylee. We were doing it and we're getting ready to do it. There was wrestling on Monday Night Raw, first night I met her, and I went to go like grab the remote and turn it off. She's like, "No, you can keep it on."
She was like, "No, leave it on."
She was like, "No, you can keep it on." And then she was nice enough to let me do it doggy style so I could watch Monday Night Raw
No
while we
way.
fucked. And I was like, I'm going to marry this girl.
And then you didn't.
And then I didn't.
That-
Yeah.
That was very unselfish of her, though.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Super nice.
Super nice.
Have you ever had sex while watching porn and gotten ideas from the porn you're watching while having sex?
No, but I've gotten ideas from porn, but not while I was watching it
Right.
actively.
Right.
Totally have.
But I've definitely gotten ideas from porn that
Yeah.
didn't go as smoothly as in the video I watched.
Because it wasn't properly executed, or they just were not
You ever
receptive
notice
of
that
it?
when they,
Just fucking say it, dude.
well, I'm trying to think of how to say it. When they like bend them into certain positions and it's just weird and there's just an amalgamation of fucking skin.
Looks
and
like they're putting him in a
anuses.
fucking sharpshooter or something.
Right. You ever notice that usually they're fucking tall dudes and short, skinny girls? I'm a short, fat dude, and I date big girls. So most of what you see in fucking Cosmopolitan does not work for me.
There's a lot of porn in Cosmopolitan.
Well, I mean, they talk about positions. Like I have a Cosmopolitan.
I did not know they did that in
Yeah,
Cosmopolitan.
I have a
Subscribe.
I have a Cosmopolitan.
I will now. I'm gonna pick one up at Barnes.
Kama Sutra book. That's in my home that I stole from an ex-girlfriend. I either date big girls, like round girls, or I date girls that are hook up with girls that are
6'2",
7 inches taller than me.
6'3",
Yeah,
something like that.
fuck it, beautiful girls.
Absolutely.
Austin likes to be dominated over.
No, it's not that I have like a domination fantasy where like she's fucking like spanking me or like whipping me or, but when a girl knows what she's doing and like fucking holds you down and you're like, oh, okay, I don't have to do anything. You are very experienced. It's the greatest fucking thing in the world.
I had a situation once where the girl that I was with had bed straps. And she tied me to the bed and blindfolded me.
Uh-oh.
And she was not successful in keeping me down.
Did she tickle your fancy?
She was my ex-wife.
Such Eddie.
But, so, like, shit's tied up and Velcro down and everything, and she's just riding me, and my hands are just busy like this, like, get these things off me, fucking, and I got out of it, and I was like,
I like being held down. I fucking hate it.
Yeah,
I have a thing about, like, if my arm is under, like, my girlfriend when we're cuddling, like, I hate it. I fucking hate it so much, because I have this thing about straitjackets, where, like, if I feel confined, you know, I don't have a fear of elevators, or I don't have, you know, I'm not claustrophobic, but fuck, something about straitjackets and being tied down, against my will. It gets to me. I don't know why. It just does.
You're not freaky enough, dude.
Maybe not.
What about the women that like to be, I don't know, there's women out there that like to be physically assaulted as they're doing it?
I've met a couple girls that have
choked and slapped. This is what I've come
things
across.
like that.
I've met a girl that took it to the extreme and told me, you know, her term, not mine, that she has a rape fantasy.
Ooh.
Where like she wants some guy that she's never met to like take her to a room at a party and just like dominate her. She's like, that would be the hottest thing ever.
What's her name?
Her name is Jesus Christ. Her name was Brooke Hapicotti. Met her in college.
I was hoping it was Brooke Burke.
Burke.
You don't know who that is?
Oh,
Yeah.
She's hot.
no.
That's, I don't know. Where do you think something like that stems from? That's pretty fucked up. Take me to a room and rape me.
And I don't know. I've heard that comes from, you know, being abused earlier or in a past relationship or by a family member. I always found it interesting, neither good nor bad, but interesting that girls that were abused sexually in their youth are usually more promiscuous when they become adults or enter college or whatever. And I found that to be true at Northwest Missouri State. There were multiple girls that said that they had been raped in high school and then, for whatever reason, were really, really promiscuous. Like, this girl knew that she was promiscuous. She's like, yeah, I got raped and then I just turned into a huge slut after that. I found that really interesting.
Yeah.
It seems backwards, or it seems like the opposite of what you would expect.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, it probably can go both ways.
Maybe. I just feel it seems like, you know, you get sexually abused and then you would be more sheltered to letting people in. And maybe that's why they are more promiscuous. They're just having sex with more people and not letting them in emotionally. You know, that could be too. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I don't know. This seems like it went by really fast. We're already in an hour. Might as well shut it down.
Really?
Yeah. Any words of wisdom before we get out of here?
Dave, you want to pet the cats more?
Fuck you.
Jeez. I mean, she could just be saying, man, my pussy itches, and he'll stand up and be like, no, I'm going to tell you how a real pussy itches.